Welcome back to Video Game News. With that said, thought this time I'd try a different angle recording. But with that said, this is the 25th of February. Just a couple days left, hard to believe. March is almost here. With that said, quickly want to mention in movie news, Avatar The Way of Water has officially passed Titanic. It is now officially the number 3 largest grossing film of all time with $2,252,868,884. Titanic last weekend or weekend prior, um, or lifetime gross of its 25th anniversary release has produced, uh, adding on 52.3 million more dollars to its lifetime. Also, the most recent Ant-Man the Wasp film has opening weekend did $106 million. Not too bad opening weekend. Keep in mind that's just domestically. And also in gaming news, Elden Ring has officially passed 20 million copies sold. So congratulations to From Software and to, of course, Miyazaki for the success. Because it's a game that very much deserves the success it's gotten for the quality. With that said, also, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League will require a constant internet connection even for single player mode. Also, Sony, the recent State of Play, here's just some of the highlights from State of Play. Sony announced some interesting looking VR games for VR2. First off, called The Foglands. I kind of dig the art style and designs, even if it looks like just a stereotype. Unfortunately, Pew Pew shooting VR game. I dig some of the designs though in it. Also, Journey to Foundation looks interesting. Green Hell is also getting a VR version, which is actually a pretty solid overall survival crafting game. That is if you're into survival crafting games. If not, well. Also, interesting VR game called Before Your Eyes. I kind of like the looks of it. Also, of course, talking about Resident Evil Village also being getting a VR version for VR2. And that's arguably the biggest thing that's going to be coming out for a while for VR2, in my opinion. Also, the Resident Evil 4 remake is also going to be getting a VR version for, I believe it's going to be exclusively to only the PSVR. Also, Destiny 2, it showed off like a new expansion, another Destiny 2 expansion. I know one of my friends specifically is happy as he's been playing Destiny 2 for probably 6 or 7 years now, which is, I don't get it. Destiny 2 is not bad, but I think the first game is better. Um, with that said, also an interesting new puzzle game coming out called Humanity. Definitely, I dig the looks. It's also going to have a VR. It's going to be released for PS4 and PS5, as well as for PSVR and PSVR 2. So I might check that out, since at least I still have the original VR. So I might actually check that out and give my impressions of it once the game comes out. Also, of course, got another look at an upcoming game called Goodbye Volcano High. I'll be honest, not feeling anything for it. I personally can say I'll probably never play the game. It's not my cup of tea. That's for sure. Maybe for some people out there, but not for me. Also, got a looks at a new fighter from Namco Bandai, Naruto X Boruto, Ultimate Ninja Storm. So, if you're a fan of the Naruto Opiden or Ultimate Ninja Storm games, might be something to look forward to. I've only in more recent time started trying out some of the Ultimate Ninja Store games, and I'll admit they are actually very solid, and I like the story and stuff in the games. Also, got new looks at Baldur's Gate 3, of course, if for any of you out there who are big fans of the Baldur's Gate series. Also, Wayfinder, which is a game I gotta admit actually caught my eye. I actually am a bit curious about Wayfinder and curious to see more. The game, I actually think it has potential, in my opinion. Also, uh, another game coming out called Do Not Open. It's going to be a horror type of game, and I'm actually interested as horror, survival horror, and stuff in general is one of my favorite genres of games, and has been since what, the PS1. Also, Resident Evil 4, of course, remake officially comes out next month. We are just about 4 weeks away from RE4 remake. Also, got a new character reveal trailer for 3 new characters coming, of course, to Street Fighter 6. First of was Zangief. He definitely looks like he's going to play quite a bit different from previous games. Now, as somebody who is actually a pretty big fan of the character Zangief, I'm digging the looks. He definitely moveset, certain things he does reminds me more of like King or Armored King in gameplay. Has a much more like professional wrestler look, more so now than ever. So I'm actually curious to try out Zangief once Street Fighter 6 comes out. Also, a new character, Lily. Got gameplay trailer. I'll be honest, Lily looks like she's probably going to be one of the most fun new characters in the game. And Lily is, of course, the daughter of T-Hawk. Never really got into T-Hawk, but I gotta admit, Lily has some of his moves, but also has quite a few of her own unique moves set. And I'm actually very curious to try out Lily and see how she overall plays. Last, of course, of the characters, obviously, is Cammy, and I gotta admit, I absolutely love the new redesign of Cammy with the like British leather jacket and everything. Just dig it, and I like the fact that they did a redesigned stage from Street Fighter 3 specifically. It's obviously stage that was used by anyways. With that said, also quickly mention, there's also a VR game, a Jurassic World VR game called Jurassic World Aftermath, also coming out. That's it. The stage for Cammy is a redesign basically of Dudley's stage from Street Fighter 3. Also, the 3 announced free games coming next month to PS Plus members. Battlefield 2042, which is one I probably won't play, or maybe I will try it on PS5. The other 2 games are exclusively PS4 only. Minecraft Dungeons, though I already have Minecraft Dungeons, so. And the other one is Code Vein. Now, I have Code Vein on Xbox One, but not on PS4, so I will definitely be picking up the digital copy of Code Vein. Because it's actually interesting, the fact it's like an anime take. Basically, it's like anime edition Dark Souls, is the best way to describe it. And you can tell that definitely from a lot of the boss designs and everything, it's very much heavily anime. But it's not saying anything bad. I don't hate the game, unlike some, probably the Dark Souls fans out there. It still has a good challenge like Dark Souls and everything else in that subgenre now. Also, Hogwarts Legacy sells over 12 million copies in its first 2 weeks of release. So, congratulations to Hogwarts Legacy, as right now I have put in so far about 25 hours into the game and finally now have broom and stuff to travel on, and that really helps speed up getting around and stuff on a broom. Quite useful at times. But with that said, also, in news, there was a new DLC expansion released for Minecraft, and this was a crossover I'd never expected. Minecraft crossover with Mega Man X. Even use the Mega Man X music and stuff, and I gotta admit, actually, I'm very intrigued. Certain elements, the way you move around a little in this expansion, kind of reminds me a bit of Mega Man Legends, which is a very positive thing in my personal opinion. So I'm actually curious about getting the Mega Man X DLC for Minecraft. I'm actually looking forward to trying it once I get around to picking it up. Also, a new game, which of course they've been mentioning, a pretty cool looking indie game, is actually going to be available to play through PS Plus membership extra and premium members. So that's cool. Also, in other news, Shinji Mikami is leaving Tango Gameworks, so that's interesting. If any of you have been longtime fans of Capcom and stuff, I'm sure you more than recognize the name of Shinji Mikami. And if you don't, you should know who Shinji Mikami is, given the many games over the years that he's responsible for creating, or very influential on specific franchises, like, of course, Resident Evil. Also, he's responsible for Devil May Cry, of course, also Mega Man, and many other things. He was a very key, important figure, really, in the rise of Capcom. Last bit of information, Bloomhouse Productions announces development of a game development and publishing division. So, of course, any of you out there who watch a lot of modern horror films, I'm sure Bloomhouse Productions is not unknown to you. Because given how many modern horror films they have been involved in, and many of them superb great films. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out the most recent film, Megan, I highly recommend checking it out, especially now that it is available to watch. Well, if you have Peacock, it's available on Peacock. I highly recommend checking out Megan. It is a superb, and it's probably going to be easily in my favorite films of the year. But with that said, that is it for this edition of Game News. Hopefully you enjoyed the lo-fi music in the background. And stay safe out there in YouTube land. And tomorrow I will be uploading a new top 10 underrated list. Next time is going to be top 10, at least from my perspective, 10 underrated PS4 games. So stay tuned for that. And I'll see y'all next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel. Stay safe out there in YouTube land.